Hey gamers, welcome to our match in the Super Metroid Choozo Randomizer tournament. We got a fun one here between two accomplished Zelda randomizer players trying their hand at another game, Daaanty versus Death King II. I am Derp, joined by Crane, who is also going to be tracking, so might be a little quiet, but while we got time, Crane, go ahead and...
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the settings we got for today, I believe, is full countdown, full area randomization, random bosses, easy difficulty, vanilla escape, random morph, so we could get trolled with the late morph location, and a random start, which will be at Green Brinstar.
Yeah, a lot of random. Hopefully won't be too difficult. We see the random start putting them here in the Greenbird Star elevator, and Death King knowing the change here that door is changed to a blue door.
Getting that speed booster.
Yeah,
It
really
looks like
nice item.
not an early morph seed, then maybe normal or late.
Yeah, hopefully Daaanty figures that out. There isn't exactly anywhere else he can go at the moment, since this door leads him into a super locked area.
Right.
Also using the buff Kirby. What are your thoughts on buff Kirby, just in general?
I think it's pretty cursed, but I forgive those that like it.
I don't. Sorry.
Yeah.
But either way, Death King, knowing the opening for random start a little bit better, gonna gain a little bit of a lead early on. Nothing
Right.
too big though. There's a nice early morph, so nothing, no shenanigans gonna happen.
Right.
So with that morph, Death King also going to go ahead and check the back item here in the Ron Popale missile. Can't check the actual back item, the missile within the wall, just yet without any kind of a bomb breaking ability.
Yeah, gonna have to orphan one there.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes back for it. It is full countdown, so
Right, and there's
you
still a
can
major.
see the number of majors in each area. That is what that number in the top left means. So if he explores the area and doesn't find the last major, then wouldn't be unreasonable to go back and check that item. But for now, going to go up to the Upper Norfair elevator and check at least the door across from the elevator, I would imagine. We'll see what he decides to do going down. Without bomb blocks, it's a little... Well, I guess bomb blocks don't really limit you, but not having any health, a little bit more limiting.
Alright. Finding meme route there. Not exactly the best place to hang out. Those side hoppers don't mess around.
Yeah, speaking of areas you don't want to be at with low health, those side hoppers will do 80 damage with no suits, so a little bit scary.
Didn't catch the item count in criteria either while he was there.
Well, we should see in a second when Daaanty checks it.
Momentarily.
Meanwhile, we do have 2 items in Norfair. I kind of forgot that they actually had to go up the elevator because they do not have a way to actually break the blocks to get into the big pink room.
Speed booster they could get in the big
Oh yeah,
pink.
they do have speed booster. So they both just made the decision to go up.
Right.
Are rewarded with a couple powerbomb packs, which is going to be nice.
Yeah. Supers and power bombs, so thankfully none of that ridiculous minor progression gating.
Yeah, not much else they can do here in Norfair. They could check the Crocomire escape item, if they remember, because it is full rando. That's an important item to check. Just make sure it's nothing important.
If you wanted to make the trip, this is enough to go through the Frog Speedway and check Bubble Mountain missile item if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's a pretty slow check. It could theoretically pay off if it's like a suit,
Yeah.
but I think that's a little bit too
I
out of
just
the way when you have the entirety of Green Print Star to check, or
right.
not the entirety, but a lot of it.
Mhm. A lot more item density over there.
Yeah, I would encourage going to do that. It looks like
Careful. Yeah.
there's that 80 damage side hopper we were talking about. That room is a little bit tricky. It's the side hopper on the right kind of needs to cooperate with you, or else you're going to take a hit from it. So if you're slow and take a hit from one of the earlier ones, then you can end up in a really bad situation like that. Good news is
Yeah.
Death King knows where everything is, so
Yeah, you can move
should
through
get
this
back
pretty
to where he
quick.
was in just a couple minutes. Also, there's 3 items in criteria.
Yep.
And he
Nicely handled.
yeah, smartly just decides to kill all those side hoppers off.
All right, making use of those iframes that he got coming through the transition.
Yep, rewarded with what we all want, a reserve tank.
Yeah, I wouldn't turn down any tanks at this point.
Yeah, I joke, but at this point, I think you're not too upset to see a reserve. So 3 items here in criteria. They are a lot of the item checks in criteria are very spaced out. So we'll see what exactly Daaanty decides to do. There's also a lot of doors to check as well, of course. It is full area, so those doors could lead anywhere.
Yeah, Billy Mason check here makes a lot of sense. A couple of items up there we're checking. The one I'm curious about is see if anyone decides to go for climb supers.
I don't think you can with this health.
I think you can, but I think you'd have to trigger the reserve in the middle of the spark. You have to fill it first and then trigger the reserve. Getting out would definitely be an issue, though.
Yeah, I think that may be a little bit tricky. I don't think that's something you want to go for unless you have to, and there's still a lot more to check out.
All right. I can always root for somebody to gamble on it though and hit big, find a suit up there or something.
Yeah, Daaanty is a little bit low, so I'm trying to get his health up so that he can, first of all, get this D boost up to the supers, which technically doesn't have to do with speed booster, but it's a little bit tricky. I believe the boulders up here do 40 damage, which is a lot when you have 43 health.
Yeah, or if you miss that door jump through, the spikes down below get pretty dangerous quick.
Yeah, the spikes will do more than 43 damage, as it turns out. So that's definitely something Daaanty wants to avoid, which he is able to do. Not rewarded with what he was hoping for.
Just missiles.
But, more missiles is nice.
See
Smartly
chat.
waiting for the boulder to fall before running forward to avoid that 40 damage.
Right. So catching chat up, he didn't miss much. It was a green Brent Star start, and our runners found more fan speed in the early supers room. Other than that, it's just been some transition and some item checks that haven't really paid off. Anything spectacular, anyways.
Yeah, pretty slow start to the seed, which isn't always a bad thing.
It's too early for a fast start. I don't think I could follow it.
Yeah. And now for Death King, I believe he's in Germany. It's like 5 p.m.
Well, that
explains perfect time for a fast start.
Yeah, that explains the scheduling.
Daaanty going up, looks like. Well, Death King, after getting those power bombs, looks to be headed back to Green Brinstar. I don't think this jump works while you have speed booster. You have to make a jump from the bottom.
Or you can turn speed off and get your jump height back.
Yeah, what I usually do is, it's a little bit slow, but like run from the left side of the bottom area and then jump like right before hitting the wall, and that usually gives you enough height to get up.
Yeah, you can get just enough speed to get to that good part of the jump table.
Yeah, it's finicky, but so is basically everything with speed and no high jump, so definitely something that you have to get used to.
It's definitely some divergence here. Death King deciding to go back in and clear Brinstar while Daaanty is committing to the criteria clear here.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised Death King isn't checking the item at Ron Papel that he had to pass by earlier.
Yeah.
Since you're coming back anyways, it feels like that makes the most sense, but
which could be a conscious decision, but at the same time, it could be one of those things that you're like, oh, I already cleared that room. You know, you just forget about it.
Oh yeah, that is very possible.
And get some of that race brain going.
Also going to take a save, which after taking an early death, not surprising to see Death King want to play a little bit safer. I think he hit no on the save and has to go back.
Yeah. It's one of the more annoying features of Super Metroid. You have to reload the room if you mess up the save select. Yeah, Daaanty wisely skipping that PT fight. Varia tweaks are on, so if you pick up those missiles, you have to fight him.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad of a fight with super missiles.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
Still not really worth it for a missile tank.
Sometimes it's worth it to go ahead and pick it up just to get some power bomb drops from BT.
Yeah, but I actually thought Daaanty was going back up to the ship, but I'm actually going to go over here. Gets high jump boots, so nice to reward.
One of our 3 majors here in criteria.
Yeah, definitely going to be nice because he has speed booster, so now has a much more comfortable item loadout. Doesn't need to worry about the jank of speed table, which is still a thing, but it's less exaggerated without high jump, or with high jump rather.
Right.
I might not be explaining it well, but if you've played with high jump and without speed, with speed and without high jump, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Vanilla Torian.
Yeah, nice to remember. I don't know if the runners are playing with trackers or not. Nothing in Red Brinstar. That's interesting. Looks like Daanty's just going to use it as a means to traverse the new lands.
Red Brinstar's kind of turns into a huge hub, and there's so many transitions in here. Finding the back of Rex ship. It's he's got high jump. I think it's traversable, but
yeah, I believe it's doable with high jump, but it's a little bit tricky and also a little bit slow. I did not see what happened to Death King. Yeah, fortunately, he did save at below Etikun, so it's not as costly, but seems like something went wrong. I want to say he was in Mission Impossible.
Which would make sense, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a deadly area. Hopefully, for his sake, he saw what the item was, although I guess if he died in the room, most likely did not. Daaanty actually checking for more ammo here. That's a lot of power bombs. 20 power bombs is a comfortable amount for this early in the seed.
Right.
Still very low on energy and not many major items found, rather. Just movement items so far between the two runners.
All right.
Oh, there's the other side of Green Bread. Would not be surprised to see Daaanty go for this.
Yeah. I think you kind of got to at this point. It's one of the safer areas, and you're still on low energy. There's a lot of items to check in here. Only one major, but
Yeah, looks like Dante's still on the exploration path. There is only one major item in the area, and there's a lot of places to check, so...
yeah, it could be really slow trying to find that one item.
Yeah, not a huge surprise here, but... Is Wavegate in Logic in Easy Logic? I don't think it is.
No, I don't believe it is, no. Even with high jump.
Thought so. Spore Spawn is, because they can just fight Spore Spawn, I would imagine.
Yeah, that would definitely put the item in logic. Or the Spore Spawn item.
Spore Spawn Supers could potentially be the item we're looking for. There aren't a lot of places left. Death King hasn't checked. It's the item behind Reserve. This one right here, Waterway.
That would be really unfortunate if it was the Ron Popeil hidden item back there behind Reserve. Oops.
Oh.
92. Yeah, you can do this with 92 health, but
Yeah, I think you need like 60. Well,
it's
a
like
little bit more than
something.
60, it looks like, but you got there.
I want to say magic numbers like around 86 or something like that. It's mid 80s. Any less than that, and you run the chance of short spark and landing on top of an enemy and instant KO.
I mean, more importantly, you would not break the speed blocks. Oh, Daaanty gets that first try. Super into the off-screen block. So it doesn't need to fight Spore Spawn.
No
be a
love
little
for
bit careful
Spore Spawn.
about health.
Spore Spawn never gets any love, except for really bad seeds or good seeds, depending on your disposition towards punishment.
Hey, and Spore Spawn RTA, important category.
80% all bosses, good one too.
Yeah,
It's probably
I'm a
the
fan
best.
of all mini boss RTA actually. Pretty fun category, even though it was popular for like a month because it was part of a multi-category tournament, and then the tournament ended, and I think one person has ran it in the last like 3 years.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the 80% all bosses Spore Spawn fight because you got the full beam for it, you know. That's the best version of that fight.
Yeah, the Spore Spawn RTA strat with just missiles is comparatively much less fun.
Right.
It is cool, but not exactly something you want to be doing. Also, not really something you want to be learning unless you really want to go for record in Spore Spawn RTA.
Mm-hmm.
So Daaanty safely makes it through Mission Impossible. Still does not find that major item, and I think we're down to the back of Reserve and Wavegate, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Sound right, because we have seen the tube missiles down in Green Hills. That wasn't it.
Looks like, I was going to say Daaanty might be setting up for Wavegate. I'm not going to go ahead and do that yet. Death King, on the other hand, looks like he's more committed. Ooh, you actually don't want to kill that small side hopper first, because you want to take the hit from the small side hopper and not the big one.
Right.
And so Death King actually lost a lot of health. It's a
Looks
little bit
like
tricky without high jump.
Looks like a non-moonwalker as well, so taking a hit from that little side hopper also knocks you back into the wall, puts you in position for the gate glitch.
Yeah, not using the turnaround to do this.
Oof. Out of attempts.
I think he only has like 5 health in his reserve as well, so gonna need to be a little bit careful. So is Daaanty, actually, who I don't believe has saved yet.
I don't recall seeing a save anywhere now.
Unfortunately, with health in reserves, I don't believe he can get health bombs.
Side uppers are so hard to hit that way.
They're jumping.
Oh.
Well, okay. He had plenty of reserve health at least. Speed. Yeah, this thin corridor with high jump is actually kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
But Daaanty makes it out.
Well done. Survival is always the best option.
As they say, the key to immortality, not dying.
Mm. Oh, gets the mothball out. Nice.
So, unfortunately, Daaanty picked up the health while the powerbomb explosion was going off, so we get the bugged health alarm.
Mm-hmm. Permabeep.
Permabeep. I'm gonna be listening to this for a little bit. So here's that item that they couldn't check earlier. It is not the item, so if I haven't missed anything, the last major item in this area is at Wavegate. I think you can fix the alarm by pausing, by the way. If I'm not mistaken.
Or we can fix the alarm by doing this.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Oh wait, Death King also has an alarm. Wait a moment.
At least it's quieter.
Alright, we're saved. No alarm now. Daaanty headed back to Criteria. There are the 2 doors on the right side that he can check, as well as still a few more major items to find. Death King also checking new doors to us at the bottom of Red Tower.
Mm-hmm. West Meridia. Redfish room and 1 item in West Meridia. Nice.
Yeah, definitely an annoying area to traverse if you need to but don't have gravity. So hopefully that major item is not important, or they find gravity before they need to go find it. We've seen 1 E-Tank in this seat, by the way. 20 minutes in.
Yeah, being a little stingy with the health. Question is, will we get go mode ammo before we hit go mode energy?
We do have a lot of ammo, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other bottom of Red Tower transition is into the heart of Norfair, which Death King not exactly equipped for at the moment.
I missed that transition that Death King just checked.
It was the Crocomire door.
Or
the door that leads to Crocomire normally.
Gotcha. I'm kind of half trying to track these.
Yep. Death King did not make it to the door with the initial jump, and now you actually can't do this without high jump. So this check is not going to happen.
There's a bad gravity jump you can do from either room down below. Not sure if he knows that though.
Yeah, it's a little bit silly.
Yeah, probably not even worth it, honestly.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, where would that be worth it is the thing. There aren't a lot more locations that they can access with this loadout.
Yeah.
Now there's a bigger problem. Actually, no, there's rando tweaks so you can get up the left side.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need to worry about being stuck down here.
I play so much rando that honestly I have a problem with forgetting that you can't go up that side in vanilla.
You would think I would also remember that, considering I basically only play rando now, but I saw him at the bottom of a tower. I was like, well, I've seen this before. He is doomed. Not doomed, actually, though. Do not fear.
Interesting. Daaanty grabbing that screw, maybe.
I think he's okay. He has full reserves. Yeah.
Everybody loves the yapping maws and gauntlet. Okay, he's safe. Interesting that he chose to go not out the back of gauntlet. I'm wondering if he scoped the back side of gauntlet earlier.
I believe he did. It was just ammo.
So that puts our last major and criteria at climb supers. Unless I missed something.
It could be a moat.
Moat. I always forget about moat.
Well, Death King went back for the Mission Impossible item, and it is, as we knew, not the item that he wanted to see.
See if he commits to that wavegate check again.
Well, there's that item. Daaanty might want to spark into it.
Yeah.
This jump is a little bit tricky with... It's actually going to turn off high jump.
I mean, that'll work.
I mean, whatever works. I would just spark across. Like, there's a door to check on the other side anyways. That's okay. You see Varia here, first instinct is, let's get Varia before we do anything else. Which is not unreasonable. So with that Varia suit, Daaanty is pretty well equipped for a lot of things. By a lot of things, I mean Norfair. This is boss rando, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, just making sure. Daaanty checked the missile in the sky maze, and it was the third reserve of the seed. So knows he doesn't need to worry about that. There are a few more items you can check in this area before you want to fight the boss, which technically Daaanty can... Okay, there's the other suit in at Wavegate. Death King was able to get it. Now we actually have a really interesting seed where each runner has one suit. We'll see what they can do with it, with their respective armor abilities.
Yeah, it's best case scenario if you're looking for divergence.
Daaanty, please shine spark. It's so free.
Might be thinking about conserving health for whatever boss he may find down here. He's got enough for Ridley. Enough ammo.
Looks like that was his plan, but those jumps are pretty tricky if you aren't super practiced with them.
Mm-hmm.
So just gonna opt to take the health loss and spark.
We'll see when he remembers to turn high jump back on.
Not happening.
If it is Ridley, it'll probably be that first jump when he tries to roll under the tail and jump up for the pogo manip.
Good news for Death King. He can actually go and check that tube transition that he couldn't earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see where that leads him. It won't lead him to wreck ship. We know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen both transitions there.
Yeah, don't ask me where the other one was, but we've seen it.
It's not a bad idea. Going to check the Okay, turn high jump back on. Going to check the wreck ship E-tank item before you go check the boss.
Oh hey, there's the that's what was on the other side of moat.
Where'd he come
That
from?
is the missile, not the missile, the tube in Red Tower.
Right.
And so that actually kind of syncs up the runners if Death King wants to go down and check out wreck ship. Looks like he wants to explore criteria a little bit more first, though.
Maybe
he
go
will be
take a
rewarded.
save.
Yeah, taking the save might go back. We'll see. I would like to see him just go up to Gauntlet. Just get that screw attack. Obviously, he doesn't know it's screw attack, but this is a cool ship design, by the way. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, I'm lost on the origins of that one myself.
So Daaanty is here, going to check the boss. Kraid is easy. Phantoon is fine.
That's great.
Ridley is technically doable. Kraid is maybe the best option. Means you can't really check anything else in the area, but does mean you have Kraid out of the way.
And 0 items behind Kraid too, so no progression here.
Yeah, Daaanty is ahead in information, but not actually too far ahead of Death King. That getting the wave gate successfully and getting gravity out of it has kind of flipped this seat around, I think.
A little bit, yeah. I think there's some opportunity for things to even up a little bit with how slow these criteria checks turn out to be.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, progression-wise, Daaanty still ahead, but don't know when he's going to find that gravity suit. And we know that the Death King has gravity suit, so there's still a lot of Norfair to explore, and a lot of known transitions to Norfair. So it's not like Daaanty's hit a dead end yet. Might say a high five if Daaanty looks like he's gonna spark across, find that red tower tube.
Oh. Almost had the cool spark to break the blocks.
So I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the doors on the right leads him to Norfair. So Daaanty actually has a pretty nice routing.
Yeah, the
Here.
upper, the one above this door leads you to Chronic Boost, or not Chronic Boost, the Croc door.
Croc door. Okay, I pointed that out, and I still didn't remember.
I only
just knew it was
remember
not-
because I wrote it down.
Fair enough. I knew it was Norfair. I tend to remember areas, like which areas connect to which, rather than which doors connect to which.
Yeah, I tend to remember nothing, hence why I write it down.
I mean, whatever works, I guess.
Right. Especially when you're running these. I ran in the SGL rando tournament, and there was a lot of area rando in that, and I realized quickly that I couldn't just YOLO it. I had to do it smart.
I actually find it easier to remember while you're playing a seed than while you're watching. But maybe that's just me.
While you're trying to watch two, for sure, yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah, because you're getting information, like, in theory, twice as fast, especially in situations like this where the runners are disjointed. So it can be hard to process everything. Whereas when you're playing, you're the one in control of the pace that you get information, so you're a lot more prepared for it.
All right.
There's that screw attack. Hopefully Death King doesn't have as much trouble with the yapping maws as Daaanty did, because he does not have the health buffer that Daaanty had.
Oh.
He's got gravity, though, so he's already a lot safer.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't confer any damage protection, but the movement advantage gets you out of the acid a lot quicker.
Well, with Varia as well, he does have the damage reduction and the movement, so actually fairly safe gauntlet. Just going back for these items, I want to say one of them was an E-Tank, so Death King, who has not found any of the E-Tanks, definitely wants the health.
Yeah,
I
that's
wouldn't
a
be
welcome
surprised if
sight.
he just skipped the missile, yeah. Still no beams in this seed, though. If I'm not mistaken, there are going to be a lot of items in the areas we haven't seen yet. So Lower Norfair, East Meridia, and I believe Crocomire. All going to have a combined like 5 or 6 items.
Yeah. We know Craid's a bust, so nothing there.
Yeah, Craid's a bust. There's 2 in Upper Norfair, 1 in West Meridia. And I think we've seen all the other items. So, doing the math, that's 6 spread across the last 3 we haven't seen. Assuming I didn't forget anything.
Getting another transition check here from Daaanty.
Could be one of the areas I had mentioned. Yeah, 3 in East Meridia.
Nice.
That's really big for Death King, actually, who has access to East Meridia exploration with gravity and speed.
Yeah, I understand checking Upper Norfair here, but I'm sure he put a pin in that one as maybe his next move.
I mean, you're in Upper Norfair already with Varia and speed. Definitely want to be doing all these checks.
And he's still hunting for that gravity suit, so.
There's still a few awkward checks in the area, like over at Ice and the Crumble Shaft. So hopefully for Daanty's sake, there is nothing important there, but we'll see if he is so fortunate. Has he checked the Bubble Mountain missile yet?
I don't think he has.
Okay, so if that's true, then there's 4 more items over here.
Maybe he did peek it when he was, because he came in from the crop door, so.
I didn't see, but I wasn't watching super closely because I think I don't remember what Death King was doing at the time, actually. But I'll pretend he was doing something important, and that's why I was distracted. Ooh. I think you can actually grapple from the platform there if you're trying to grapple across.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need to jump and risk not grappling and falling off. You have to be like right at the edge. Grapple's another item that's kind of finicky as we find our first beam. Maybe not the best, but we do find it. But grapple's also kind of finicky. It stops shooting as you release the button, so you really have to hold the button. You have to hold down shot to get a full length grapple, which doesn't sound awkward, but it's another thing that can be a little bit silly once you play with it and know how it feels.
Kind of curious about the beam speed. I wonder if it actually travels slower than a normal beam. It feels like it does.
I think grapple actually travels faster because there's a lot of 100% strats that actually open doors with grapple instead of shots because it opens the door fast enough.
I do seem to recall hearing that. I didn't know it was because of the travel speed, though. I figured it was some glitch in mechanics that the door cap opened faster. But I never put much thought into it, so it's understandable. Nice backup on the Kraid quick kill there.
Gonna get rewarded with another E-Tank, I believe. Need 3 of them to beat the game at least, so always nice to find a couple more. Actually, with full countdown, you tend to find less E-Tanks than other modes because E-Tanks aren't included in the major item.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's the curse of full countdown. You go into an area and you see 0, and you're like, well, I'm not going to bother with it. But hey, maybe all your E-Tanks were there.
Yeah, there could be like 6 E-Tanks there, and you're just skipping them all. Yeah, Daaanty sitting pretty with 5. Death King's still looking for a couple more. Technically could beat the game with 2 and 1 reserve, but you know, not what you want to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Really, just 3 tanks in general it's kind of scary.
Yeah, if you don't have a good beam combo, it's really scary. If you have a good beam combo, it's doable, but still, one mistake and you've got to reset the fight.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think that maybe our beam combo for Mother Brain is going to be super missiles.
It's definitely looking likely. Which, to be fair, super missiles is a pretty good beam combo.
Yeah, I think DPS is pretty much equivalent to full beam.
Yeah, full beam and supers are equal DPS on Mother Brain. Supers deal double damage to Ridley, so it's supers are twice as good against Ridley.
Of course, that whole conversation assumes, optimal shot timings.
Yeah, I know there's people who will tell you that it's easier to time super shots than it is to time the charge beam optimally, which I would tend to agree with, actually. So, if that's the case, then supers will be a little bit more damage. Or a little bit more DPS, rather.
Yeah.
Looks like Death King is going to explore West Meridia. There's one item, but this is another area where the items are a little bit spread out. We'll see what he wants to check first. There's plenty of ways to traverse the area with Speed Booster and with Gravity Jumps, which it looks like he is opting for. Well, maybe.
Remembered Crab Supers was a thing. Decides to check this. It's an E-Tank.
It wants the E-Tank, for sure. Looks like Daaanty is headed into East Meridia. Saw the 3 items and was tempted. Maybe just checking the other item, because there's not a lot you can do here without at least Ice Beam to get past Botwoon, or get to Botwoon, rather.
All right. Yeah, Ice Beam, Spring Ball. There's a couple items that help you traverse the area.
And with high jump, you could at least get places. So, not the worst movement ever.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how comfortable Daaanty is with suitless Meridia movement, though.
I'm thinking this is one of those places that you're not going to be able to get through.
You're gonna have to go up and around. You can't go through the water.
I can't remember if a crouch jump with a down grab gets you up on the other side.
Oh, doesn't look like it. This is a room I don't have a ton of experience with suitless, because
Okay, it does.
most of the suitless things I do are with vanilla map, and you don't really go here suitless with vanilla map. At least not from the bottom area. But you can just wall jump up and go around to the pipe. The door is locked until you fight Dragon, as it turns out. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried about... I'm worried for Daanty's ability to progress. Because you can get to the other transition fairly easily. I'm not 100% sure how comfortable Daaanty is with the movement required. You'd need to do either a grapple jump or a lot of silly underwater wall jumps. Not the really silly ones that like people can do on keyboard, but it's still wall jumping up a too wide gap, which requires precise timing. This is about what I'm worried about.
Yeah,
you need to spin jump out to get enough height. You need to spin jump out in the sand specifically, and you can see Dante's actually breaking his spin too early. Let's see, get out. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Meanwhile, taking a lot of damage from those Eevee projectiles.
He has a crystal flash, but it's not very easy to crystal flash in this area, as Death King finds the X-ray scope, not what you maybe were hoping for as the major item in the area, but...
All right.
Alright, so the power bomb did deal with the Eevers, so Daaanty won't need to worry about taking more damage. You can get out of this, but it is tricky.
Yeah, it's a weird little crouch jump and then continuing to spin jump out. It's not easy.
No, Daaanty, I don't know where he saved last.
God, I couldn't.
I don't know if he saved last.
Business Center.
That's not too bad, actually. It actually looks like he saved before going into East Meridia at all, which I would say good decision after what we just saw.
All right. So we got Barrier and Screw Attack. Looked like he lost Spazer.
Oh, he's got Spazer.
Was it?
Yeah. I believe he full cleared Norfair. In fact, you can see that he has no items in Norfair left, so...
Right. Good, that makes my job as a tracker easier.
The King, a little bit scary. Took a lot of acid damage. But with both suits, he's okay.
Just don't run into the spikes.
Well, he can run into the spikes, technically, if he wants.
I don't recommend it, though.
Yeah, usually not good. So we begin our search to find the 2 Crocomire items. Still a lot of big items to find. Charge beam the biggest one, but really any beam is nice here.
I already do charge beam. That death and reset in East Meridia might have been a good thing for Daaanty. He's gonna get his grab suit now. Oh, I always forget to track the bosses. Sorry about that, chat.
Looks like Daaanty got that gravity. I looked away for a second. Didn't see what happened, but looks like he got the wave gate. So that makes the East Meridia play a lot more appealing. So I imagine that's where we see Daaanty head to. As soon as he can. So charge and wave were the 2 items at Croc. Nice.
All
beam
things
combo.
considered, that's not a bad Croc.
I mean, technically go mode for Death King. I wouldn't hate it if he actually just checked for minor items to get more ammo and health.
Yeah, this is a pretty comfy loadout. As far as like major item wise.
Yeah, high jump speed, screw attack, both suits, charge beam. Just need good ammo to fight the bosses, and you're plenty of health. And you're pretty good.
Everything else is just kind of comfort items. I think honestly, even the only major I'd really be happy to see is probably ice. I mean, plasma would be welcome, but I think I'd rather find ice than plasma beam.
Ice beam would probably save more time than plasma. So we've got the loadouts. Now we just need to start fighting bosses. Both runners only have Kraid down. We still haven't seen LN. We haven't seen Kraid Slayer. No, we have seen LN. I don't know exactly where Death King found it, but he has seen it.
Yeah, I missed that one too. I think it had to have been one of the Meridia transitions.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere in West Meridia. Like maybe the far right door. The one that normally goes to Aqueduct.
Yeah, top of Mount Everest.
Daaanty gonna continue forward and get that wave beam as well. Well, it looks like Death King's actually going to be exploring Bubble Mountain. So that gives him Spazer and Grapple.
Yeah, it was Spazer and Grapple here, and I think Grapple at Speed and Spazer over at the Norfair Reserve first room.
The beginning missile. I don't know what you want to call that.
Yeah.
All the room names we have. I don't think we have one for the pre-Norfair Reserve room.
Yeah, I started to realize how many rooms there aren't names for when with everyone playing the map rando. It's kind of all the rage at the moment.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to try that, but
It's
as I mentioned, been a little bit busy with other things.
yeah, it's definitely worth trying. I think it needs a little more polish and then add some more features to it. But
Well, it is very new, so that's
yeah,
not too surprising.
it is exciting.
And yeah, it looks like Death King is still on the hunt for ammo, rewarded with a super pack. So, once again, we're not exactly sure where our runners are going. Looks like Daaanty. We'll see if he wants to pick up that E-Tank. That would put him at a pretty comfortable number. Stand up likely not going to be a factor with no plasma yet, so the 7 E-Tank threshold doesn't really matter too much, but still not a bad idea to just pick up any E-Tanks you can, especially ones that are this free. Do we know where Kraid has to be, by the way? What doors haven't we seen? 'Cause I think it's actually just Kraid and back of LN.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing the front of East Meridia, so the aqueduct transition.
Yeah, that's true as well. So what other door have we not seen then?
Boost, maybe? We might have seen Chronic Boost, but I didn't write it down, so.
It's possible we haven't seen it. See Daaanty go for a gravity jump. Unfortunately, he turned off high jump, which is not going to not going to get you up there.
Pause was a little late.
Yeah. Also, you have to time with the Namahe. Just a little bit annoying. Daaanty gets it. First try, we'll say. Daaanty begins his trip through Lower Norfair. We'll see what the boss here is. It's can be any of them, I believe. I think with the logic, the map is completely open, like with what we found.
Yeah, it should be.
Like every area and every boss is in logic. Well, where was Crocomire? Because technically you need wave to get to gravity.
Crocomire entrance was Main Street.
Okay. I guess if it was through a room that would have... If it was through a room with water, then safe to say gravity's in logic now.
All right. I'm not sure if this worst room in the game is in logic with these items. I don't know if that wall jump is in on easy.
I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't. It's not too hard with high jump. Yeah, Daaanty gets it first try.
Yeah, high jump makes that pretty free. Gonna check these Mickey Mouse missiles back here.
I don't know if that's what you want to do.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, that's a shot block. You don't need to power bomb it.
Hmm.
And And I'm not actually sure if Daaanty will be able to get back up. We might be seeing another trip through Worstrom.
Some bad crumple jumps.
Ooh, nice. I stand corrected. Good jumps from Daaanty.
Mm-hmm.
There's a spring ball. Death King does not want it. Wow.
Oh, the disrespect.
Okay. I mean, like you said, doesn't really need it. Still, spring ball. So, pro tip, Batoon always appears from the top left hole in the room.
Right.
So you should start aiming at that one. For future reference. Again, Death King is more of a Zelda rando runner than a SM rando runner, so could easily be tricked into thinking that's random, but actually it's just he always appears in one spot. He's lazy. Doesn't want to put too much energy into deciding where to appear. How many other Metroid games have you played, Crane?
Way back in the day, I played Fusion, and also played Dread was good. All the Prime games I played.
Yeah, I asked because I was gonna ask, what do you think the cutest Metroid boss is? Because like it has to be Batoon, right?
The cutest Metroid boss. Wall jumps? I don't know.
I guess.
That's a good question. I have to think about that for a minute. It's definitely not Croc.
Yeah, I mean,
Although I do like the Croc emojis. There's some really cute Croc emojis.
there are some cute Croc emojis, but I think Croc himself is less flattering.
Yeah.
Looks like we have Fantoon at Ridley. Meanwhile, we're going to see the other boss in East Meridia, which can be either Dragon or Ridley, and either way, Death King's pretty well equipped for it. Has that grapple beam and plenty of supers. Could technically do the any percent Dragon strats, though those are pretty silly if you aren't practiced with them.
Yeah, he's really got kind of all the kill methods other than microwave.
Yeah, which to be fair is the one you would like to have.
Mm.
But you know, we can't always have what we want. That's why it is random.
And going for the grapple strats.
Yeah, didn't get a quick grapple, but he's got plenty of health.
Yeah.
Definitely scary. Dragon's this is a mean pattern, but
yeah, that's some bad RNG there.
With grapple and or with gravity and Varia, it only takes like 70 health or something. I think even less than that. I didn't see what his health was starting off. It's like 169, now it's 113, so like 50. Point is, you don't need a lot of health to do it.
Ooh, vanilla space.
Yeah, we got a vanilla boss and a vanilla boss reward. That's definitely going to make things a little bit nicer. So we are still looking for Ridley, who is hiding in Kraid's lair today.
And Kraid's lair is, who knows? Back lower Norfair, maybe? That would work out well for Daaanty.
And the question is Death King going to explore the area for the last major item? And it looks like he is. Or potentially just looking for more energy and ammo, as mentioned.
Hmm.
That may be more likely, actually. There's a missile. He's not going to pick it up. Not surprised he didn't pick up the power bomb, but I think the missile has a little bit more consideration.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the last lower Norfair item? Well, it is the major item either way. Daaanty gets vanilla bombs.
That's nice. Last check coming out of lower Norfair, and you find out
left. Ice and Plasma are at Wreck Ship and somewhere in
and there's our
East
Kraid.
Meridia, right? Those are where our last two items are, Wreck Ship and East Meridia.
Sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, because there's two that Death King has, and he skipped Spring Ball, so... And then there's the one in Wreck Ship that I don't think anybody is going to go back for. Kind of rough. Ice and Plasma are two really good items, and either one is in an optimal position.
Right.
Yet X-Ray. Could have X-rayed it. Well, still doesn't want those missile packs. We found Kraid, by the way. It was, in fact, at the back of Lower Norfair.
Mm-hmm. So Ridley's still kind of hiding out in lower Norfair, once removed, anyways.
We'll count it. He actually entered with less than 30 supers, so it's going to get a little bit awkward, but won't get soft locked, so not too bad. And he did take the save, actually, I think, at Kraid's lair.
I remember seeing him drop through the hole in the party room coming from the right. So either he scouted the item or took the save, I'm not sure.
I'll grab the item for sure. I want to say he went and saved as well, but I might be wrong. I don't know if you want to be going for X Factors this deep into the fight. Does hit... He hit one particle. It's basically a super.
Yeah.
You really just want to be using missiles here, though.
Except you can aim a super.
I think those all hit, actually.
That was pretty nice.
Got two more.
What?
this guy's crazy.
I think I would have just opted for normal power bomb strats.
I mean, I would have opted for the 50 missiles personally.
Yeah, you got the missiles. I mean, even the charge beam fight it's awkward, but it's not terrible with this loadout.
Oof,
There you go.
okay. Easy
Dead
fight.
Ridley. Is that? I can't tell. That's not 01 health, but when I first looked at it, it looked like it was 01.
Yeah, it's 81. Not super comfortable, but we got there. There is a refill station above him if Daaanty wants to refill his health.
Yeah, I think I might have checked behind Ridley just
For an
because
E-tank.
if it's an E-tank, if it's ammo, you know, aside from power bombs, you know, you're not really going to limit picking up a little more ammo in this situation.
Yeah,
But the
we've seen
E-tank.
all the reserves. Although Daaanty hasn't seen all the reserves because one of them was bought to an E-tank,
Right.
which he has not seen yet. So Death King looks to be ahead, maybe? Actually, it's really hard to tell.
That is pretty tough, yeah.
Yeah, because Daaanty has to backtrack all the way through Lower Norfair. Well, Death King has to go all the way forward through Lower Norfair and then back, but Daaanty still needs to fight Dragon. Health situation definitely favors Daaanty right now, but in terms of who's actually ahead, I actually think it's fairly close. That ledge is so silly. I don't know why it just clips you in when you crouch, but
still using the power bomb there when you get screw attack. It's gonna be another. He's got space jump, so definitely easier, but yeah, space jump can get kind of trolly though. Hey, I mean, Daanty's got more than enough health to make it through this acid dive, but you still don't want to lollygag down here.
yeah, with full suits, acid dive actually doesn't take that much health.
Yeah, I think you can make it through there on 2-ish tanks, something like that.
Yeah, it is actually a little bit faster to go through Mickey Mouse than it is to go through this way, but it's not super. It's not a huge deal.
Just the lag in this room is so. For some reason, the lag seems so much worse going reverse through the pillars room.
I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Or rather, I wouldn't be surprised if the room was optimized for going left to right than right to left. Because there is a lot going on. It's not surprising that it's a laggy room.
Yeah. Anywhere you get the rising acid or lava in any room, there tends to be lag issues. Then the Puromies, I believe they're called in that room, seem to be pretty taxing on the system.
I think they're. I don't actually know, but they're like multiple segments, and I think each segment might be coded as this one enemy. So,
right,
there's a lot of things being spawned in alongside rising lava, alongside you breaking a lot of blocks.
Yeah.
Not exactly a recipe for the game to process things easily. Ooh, wait, no, switch your grapple.
Oh, he almost had it.
There we go. So does Daaanty remember the way to East Meridia? Because I do not.
Well, this way is going to take you to Red Brent Star,
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah.
not where you want to be going. Although, is there? I think there's a East Meridia transition in Norfair, right?
Yes, there is. The single chamber goes to the back of East Meridia.
Okay.
I completely missed where the aqueduct transition is.
Is there? I mean, there's only one door left, so whatever door we haven't seen, which I don't know. The only one I don't remember is Main Street, but I think you said that went somewhere else.
Yeah, Main Street was Croc. And then the crab hole goes to bottom of bottom of Green Hill Zone.
Is it Chronic Boost then? Because if it is, that is where Daanty's headed. So actually, this worked out.
We're fixing to find out.
I mean, there's nothing left, so
Yeah,
if it's not here, then we missed something.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So good rounding from Daaanty after all. We were questioning it, but Daaanty knows where he's going. And actually, I think having such a nice route into Aqueduct, I think Daanty's actually fairly comfortably ahead. So Death King still needs to backtrack all the way through Lower Norfair and fight the boss. Yeah, Turian is at the vanilla Turian transition, as it turns out. So, Daaanty has taken down Botwoon.
Did I just completely forget to track it, or is Death King not done Fantoon yet?
I don't believe he has. I think he went straight to the back of Lower Norfair.
Yeah.
So he still needs to go back and do that. Hopefully he checks this item, because I think this was an E-Tank, which is a little bit important, given his current situation on health.
Yeah, well, that reverse acid dive coming up to a little more health is always nice.
I didn't see another E-Tank in the bottom of Lower Norfair either.
Mm-hmm.
So I think 4 E-Tanks might be all Death King's going to get. I wonder what we see Daaanty do on Dragon. Probably just grapple.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably most likely.
He does have Spazer equipped, so not gonna get an X Factor with these power bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he's actually just setting up his menu so he can quickly switch to grapple.
Yeah.
And
Just
looks
missing
good, but didn't quite get the grapple onto the thing, the electric turret.
Yeah, I feel like your jump has to be a little more precise if you're not up on that platform.
Yeah, usually I just do it from the platform. It's a little bit easier.
It's all the bosses for Daaanty, so it looks like trip to Torian is in order.
So what is the fastest way to Criteria?
That's a good question.
Where does the
Well,
other side of East Meridia lead? Up
they
at the elevator?
they both come out in Lower Norfair. The Forgotten Highway route leads to Single Chamber.
Okay, so probably just go back to Aqueduct. You can go back to the bottom of Red Tower, and then that leads you to Criteria, and then you just have to go across.
Aqueduct drops you in Chronic. Chronic will take you to the bottom of Red Bryn Star Tower, and then the elevator at the top of Red Bryn takes you to Mushroom Kingdom, which is right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say you actually go through the tube, and that takes you to Moat, and then you just go across.
Yeah.
Across Criteria, that is.
That would definitely be way quicker than...
Yeah, I think going through Criteria is faster than going through Red Tower. Is Daaanty still looking for items? Oh yeah, those are changed to bomb blocks. I always forget that. It's a newer change.
Yep.
So Daaanty wants to go to the Croc door. So that is this upper left door here.
I've actually seen a couple seeds now where those power bomb blocks and Aqueduct being changed to bomb blocks. That change was required progression. Like it gave you screw attack to get through there, and that was the only progression. Which I was kind of surprised to see that too, because I figured with a new change like that, I didn't know if they would have written it into the logic. But they did.
So it looks like Dante's actually going to Retro Brinstar in Criteria and then going up and around.
Yeah. It's a little longer, not terrible. If that's the route you remember, you know, it's better than getting lost.
Exactly. It's not significantly longer, I think. It takes about the same time to get to this as it would to get to Croc, maybe a little bit longer. Counting the elevator transition.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also a little bit slower than going across the top of Criteria, but
well,
you can spark up the climb if he wants to.
Yeah, that's
do
what
the
I
escape strats.
That's what I was going to mention. Is we'll see if Daaanty knows the climb spark strat here. Even got screw attack, so
the blocks to the left where the escape usually drops you out are bomb blocks, so you can just break them with screw attack, and then you have plenty of room to charge a shine spark. Looks like he's just gonna climb though. Meanwhile, Death King has finished up Fantoon and is now going to be doing the same trek to Criteria.
Yeah, just a little bit behind, but this looks like we'll definitely see both runners and Torian at the same time.
Seems that way.
Yeah, and with no Ice Beam, it's not going to be the fastest Torian.
The King actually needs to be a little careful here. Took a couple hits from the pirates. He's got reserves. He's fine.
I don't recommend leaving reserves on manual, by the way.
Usually not a great idea.
Whoa.
Okay. So. Oh no. He juked. The pirate walked away. That's not fair. You can't do that.
Gonna assume he saved after fighting Phantom.
Oh yeah, he saved right before doing that. So it's
Yeah.
not too bad. That's why I was not super worried. Wouldn't be making jokes if he didn't save.
Mm.
Meanwhile, Daaanty doing the slow Metroid strats with no ice speed. Something I think a lot of fairly experienced random runners don't actually practice, but they should, is doing those rooms without ice beam with power bombs, because you can actually speed it up a lot more than you think by
Aggro
with
and
optimal placement.
Yeah, you can kind of draw all the Metroids to you. And...
So Death King has enough health. With Screw Attack and Space Jump, he can theoretically just inch his way across this bottom area with the jumps. Wants to be a little careful though. Yeah, once again, very thin corridor can be tricky to chain jumps together.
Right. I'd say in that situation, having Wave Beam, it's not ill-advised to just go ahead and take out the first two hoppers with charge shots.
He dodged the Key Hunter this time, so going to have a little bit more health going in. Meanwhile, Daaanty has made it past the baby Metroid and refilled. Technically do a Zeb skip with a really tight short charge, but I imagine we just see, with this ammo and with charge, just doing it normally.
Was that a super into the save door?
I wasn't looking. I think so.
Didn't need that one anyway. It's all right.
So technically, if you want to be time efficient, 2 missiles and 3 supers is what you need to kill the Zebs. Don't blame Daaanty for just using missiles here, though. Wants to save his supers for Mother Brain. Although, actually, you want more missiles than you're going to have for an optimal kill on Mother Brain 1.
Yeah. At least 6 to open the glass.
Yeah, you need 6 of anything to open the glass, and then 3,000 damage over 12 hits to actually beat Mother Brain 1, because you can't beat her until the glass is fully broken, and the glass breaks every time you hit her, as well as hitting the glass. Doesn't mean you can fire a couple of supers into the glass and still not lose ammo, which I think Daaanty did.
Yep.
Didn't see what happened, but Death King has much more comfortable health than he did the last couple attempts.
I'm assuming the trip through reverse acid dive went a little better. Probably didn't hit the key hunters.
Seems that way. It's not too tricky, just need to practice it. And Death King unwittingly got a bit of practice in.
Oof. Daaanty ate a full serving of onion rings there.
Is it Daaanty or Daaanty?
Daaanty, I don't know. I'm guessing.
Maybe we're not putting enough emphasis on the A. It's
Maybe
Daaanty.
or dainty. I don't know. Was it a long A?
I don't think it's dainty.
The,
All right,
the
I should be
latter.
making fun of your southern accent as a fellow southerner.
Mhm. Whoa.
That was
Getting a
close.
haircut.
Does Kirby have hair?
I'd say probably not. Maybe internally. Depends on what he sucked up.
Maybe you're supposed to say every A individually. It's Daaanty. Well, Mother Brain 2 is down safely. And with that, Daaanty is all but done. Just needs to Mother Brain 3 and have a nice escape. Death King will make it to Turian before Daaanty finishes, but definitely not, most likely not going to be a victory. I think Daaanty has this. Context of the tournament, I believe that moves Daaanty to 3-3 in the Swiss bracket. So for a mostly Link to the Past runner, definitely a fairly good showing in the Choozo Super Metroid tournament. I don't know how much SMZ3 Daaanty has done. Do you?
I don't, but I can probably pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I think he's more of just a pure Link to the Past player. If I am not mistaken.
Looks like he's got a fair bit of experience in SMZ3. He's competed in a couple races at least in chat, according to Challenge.
Well, Death King has made it to Turian as Daaanty begins his escape. I think there's one more Metroid Death King didn't group, so gonna need to lay an extra power bomb. Oh, no. Never mind. Worked out. Oh yeah, that's right. Because for some reason, like hitting the Rinkas hits all of the Metroid once and makes them all fly towards you. So you technically only need 2.5 power bombs to kill them. So if you've already done the half, then you only need 2. Game is weird. Of course, as it turns out, you weren't really supposed to be here without Ice Beam anyways, so makes sense that things are a little bit weird.
Daaanty making his way through Parlor, which is hard enough when you don't have all the additional complications of the escape. And onto the ship, finishing with an official time of 1:33:57. GG Daaanty.
Yeah, GG. It's Daaanty. Pretty good for the seed. I think the early game was a little bit slow and awkward to route. I don't think either runner had it perfectly.
Yeah.
But I think, especially once Daaanty was go mode, I think he played really well and routed almost perfectly for where he needed to go. Meantime, Death King gonna finish it out. No surprise, he is very close to the end.
Yeah, at this point you might as well. Don't let the seed win, right?
A little bit of a scary Mother Brain. It's only 4 tanks in a reserve, but very doable.
Yeah.
So he's actually going to be using all supers on the Zebs. We saw the opposite from Daaanty using all missiles.
Right. I mean, the supers are still quicker, but yeah, definitely less optimal than the 2 and 3. And opting for supers on the glass. Nice. And then switching to missiles.
Well, you know.
Yeah, it works.
It works. Taking a lot of damage here, though. This room without Ice Beam is really tricky. He is below 300, but he does have reserves, which means he can't take very much damage from Mother Brain.
Right. And 17 supers, so...
He could save the supers for the catch-up phase.
Yeah.
And then have a comfortable way to deal with that.
It's going to be a lot of charge shots in the meantime, though. Plasma at Spring Ball. Yeah, nobody's getting that. Ice at Wreck Ship Preserve.
Yeah, another item no one was getting.
No.
So he does have full reserve, right? Because it refilled at the start of the area.
Yeah, you should. Of course, they're still in manual, so...
Well, hopefully he remembers. We are, in the meantime, joined by Daaanty, the winner.
Yeah, GG Daaanty.
Is that how you say your name, Daaanty?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's Daaanty. But yeah, thanks for the GGs. This was definitely something.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a really slow seed to start off, for sure. I guess walk me through your overall decision-making at the beginning of the seed. How you progressed through it.
Like, the big thing that kind of just sticks in my mind is that I was considering doing I'm new to SM, so I don't know the fun names, but the waterway where you have to shine spark through, and then the wave gate glitch, and I was very low health and I was too much of a baby to do it. So I left, and then when I came back and did wave gate glitch and got gravity, I was like, well, I'm dead. So I was just playing until the dot done at that point in my head, which took a little of the pressure off, I guess. But I don't know, the closer I got to the end, it was kind of like, okay, well, not done. Maybe I have a chance. I don't know. But it was, I don't know, there was a lot of me trying to figure out pathing. You know, I've played a lot of like SMZ3, but you know, obviously there's no area rando built into that. So area rando is like a full new concept, and when you've got a tracker that's just got like lines drawn all over it, I'm so lost.
Yeah, I do think you actually routed the second half of that seed really well, though, for what it's worth. Once you had all the items.
Oh, nice. Well, thanks. I don't really know what like good routing is, except for like not having to double dip or triple dip areas, and considering I triple dipped a couple places, like actually looking for progression. I just really didn't feel great about this overall, but it worked out, I guess.
Yeah, Death King, meanwhile, was not able to complete. Mother Brain did end up forfeiting. He took a few deaths, and I think that made up a lot of time. It was actually fairly close at the end.
Yeah, I think he was. I think he would have been fine until that last ketchup beam hit him.
Yeah, definitely a solid showing, though. It was actually really interesting. Y'all were diverged for most of the race, actually. Like, I think he actually got gravity before getting Varia, because he got the wave gate fairly early.
Okay. Yeah, this is also the first time I've done random start. So when I started in Green Bryn, I was like, I have no idea what I can do. So the kind of going up and down to start was probably not the best thing. I didn't know that. I didn't know that like the way
was
that
changed.
Yeah. So I knew there were changes, but I'm like, is that actually changed? I don't ever want to assume something is changed, because if I do, then I'm probably gonna mess up really bad. So
Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, the game ended up forcing you to go through anyway, so it worked out. The exit was super locked. Not the top.
yeah, for sure.
Trying to think what else interesting happened in that race. I guess I wanted to ask you about using X Factors on Ridley like that deep in the fight, because it kind of worked out actually.
So I did that.
Practice that.
I have never practiced it. I did it last week on a whim. I was really desperate last week, and then I went back and watched it, and then chat plus some friends were kind of like picking on me for it. They're like, "Why are you using a TAS only strat?" And I'm like, "Dude, someone put in the SG chat that I've seen people do this before, so I guess I'll try it." And that is literally my thought process when I did that. And then today I was like, "Well, this worked last week. Let's try it again." I kind of wasn't sure if it was going to actually work out again, but luckily it did. That's not skill at all. That was pure luck. So, like getting him to actually hit.
Well, it worked out. I will say though, most people do them at the beginning of the fight, not at the end, for future reference.
Yeah, it's probably easier to do it at the beginning. Thinking's hard in Ridley, I think.
Not false.
Yeah, supposedly the first X Factor's free, and then after that, you can get in 3 or 4 if you're familiar with the movement, and then mid-fight, especially when you're late fight and Ridley's enraged, it's kind of sketchy.
I do want to say I was pretty salty to find that like you had to go through the entirety of Lower Norfair to get to the Lower Norfair boss, and then to the Kraid area, to the Kraid boss like room, and then have to come back. I was like, this game, please.
Yeah, there's been quite a few seeds we've seen that just make a big tunnel out of either Lower Norfair or East Meridia with only the 2 entrances, As
much as I like area render, I think that is one of the issues. It'll do that to you, and then it's not fun. Well, I think you handled it well. You definitely had more E-tanks than Death King, which also helped things a lot, especially for the reverse Lower Norfair.
Yeah, doing something like this is kind of like, if I see an E-tank, I'm probably going to get it all the way up to like maybe, 12 or whatever. Like all the way up, because I don't know. I'm very prone, as you probably saw, to take a lot of damage pretty quickly. So anything that's a safety, I think, is probably best to grab. Same with like reserves.
Yep, definitely worked out in your favor though. And I think that's all I had. So if you have any questions, Crane, go ahead.
Nope, not really. You covered pretty much everything I think we needed to. I see Death King is declining the interview at the moment, and so that probably ought to about wrap it up. GG's to both runners, Death King and Daaanty. Daaanty moving on to 3-3 in the tournament. So looking forward to playoffs. I don't know
Playoffs will
exactly.
be interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't really expect to be 3-3 at any given point in this in this tournament in Swiss. So pretty happy with that overall. Big huge GGs to Death King, and looking forward to the next one. And thank you guys for doing the commentary, tracking, restream, all that. Do appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, no problem. Shout out to Crane. He stepped in basically last second to do comms and tracking. So really fun. It was fun doing comms with you.
Yep. Likewise. And pretty much all of my stuff is usually last minute because IRL's just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I've definitely signed up for plenty of races last minute, so I can't lie. Can't say much. But as for the schedule for the rest of the day, we got races basically all evening, starting at 6:30. Chrono versus Glove. Then we've got 4 more races: Idle versus D-Drag, Lilyfen versus Shindig Pig, Pop Schmo versus Prier 57, and Skookula versus Lies and Gasoline coming in last at 10:30. So, if you want to see more randomizer, then wait a bit, because we've got a lot of random races coming at you very quickly at the end of the day. And until then, we will see you next time.